AMD are finally giving us the CPUs we've been asking for this whole time. How y'all doing, guys? This is going to be a pretty quick one. You've probably seen a ton of videos on this already, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents in since we just did our Zen 6 video. So let's get stuck into the leaks and rumors. So it looks like AMD will be seeing out Zen 5 with 2 new CPU SKUs, an 8-core CPU and a 16-core CPU, with the big boy having dual V-cache. So that's V-cache on both CCDs. So this is going to be some big news and the CPU that I personally have been waiting for an extremely long time. And you know what? It actually makes sense. AMD are going to smash the competition with these CPUs. If you've been around the channel for a little while, you've probably already heard me talk about this. This is something that everyone's wanted the whole way through. All right, so this all comes from a X post from a leaker named Chili Dog, and this is what his post has to say. Basically, he says we're getting 2 new Granite Ridge CPUs. The first one is an 8-core 16-thread with 120 watts at 96 megabytes of level 3 cache. Then we've got the 16-core 32 threads with 200 watts and 192 megabytes of level 3 cache. And then he goes on to say 192 megabytes and gives the guy with the squiggly eyes. That is a shit ton of cache. That's like another 64 megabytes on the existing model. So that is a whole bunch of level 3 cache. That's going to be blazing fast. All right, so we've got 2 flavors. We've got the vanilla flavor, which is the 8-core 16-thread 120 watt part with 96 megabytes of level 3 cache. Now, that's exactly the same as the 9800 X3D. So I'm not sure where the performance is coming from there. Maybe they're stacking additional 3D V cache on that, because in my mind, I want to call it the 9800 X3D dual V cache if they're, going out of their way to produce a new SKU. So there's going to be something there that, edges it over the 9800 X3D. So I'll be interested to see what that is. Then we've got the chocolate flavor, which is the 9950 X3D dual V cache. So this has 16 cores, 32 threads, and it's bumped up from 170 watts on the existing 9800 X3D to 200 watts on the dual cache variant. So that is going to be a bit of a jump. So you're going to want to check that your air cooler or your AIO can handle it. But this thing has 192 megabytes of level 3 cache. That is unbelievable. As we said, that's about 64 megabytes extra. So this thing is going to be blazing fast. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is the CPU that I was looking for. Now, as you guys might know, I held off on the X3D variants because I just didn't see, for my workload, which is a bit of gaming and a lot of video editing, the value in the X3D parts. That will change with these chips. And you know what? I think they've played it pretty smart here, because AMD want to introduce this price point earlier than Zen 6, because if it comes in now at the end of Zen 5 and they're the best CPUs in the world, everyone's gonna rant and rave on how good they are. They're also gonna introduce the pain point of a new price point right at the end of Zen 5, so when Zen 6 comes along midway through next year, it's not going to sting as much. So, as a marketing strategy, I think this is pretty good. Give everyone what they want, but then just leave them wanting a little more for what's to come in the future. Not bad, AMD. Not bad. It also leaves Intel a little bit in the dust, unfortunately, because I'm not sure they're going to have an answer for these upcoming CPUs. Hey, just want to jump in here and say, if you're enjoying any of the content on computer games hardware, please chuck us a like, share, and subscribe. You guys know that watching the videos really helps me out. Thank you everyone for doing that. We've got all our socials and all our affiliate links and all that stuff in the description below, so check those out too. Really helps me out and I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching everyone. Now that I think about it, this extra 64 megabytes of level 3 cache on the 9950 X3D dual V cache, oh boy, they better come up with a better name for that, but that's the one I'm going with. I'm sticking with it. This is probably the fix that they came up with for the dual 3D V cache problem that they created. So if you don't remember, at the launch of the original 3D V cache models, AMD said, you know, the price to performance was not worth it. Dual 3D V cache CCDs will introduce too much latency and all this sort of stuff, which is why they didn't go for it this time around. Well, here we are almost, you know, a year and a bit later, and what have they done? They've just thrown more cash at it. So there you go. They've fixed the problem. I think most of us knew that they should have done this from the start, but I guess the opportunity was here. I think AMD have maybe played it a little bit smarter than what we all gave them credit for, to be honest. All right, so this is basically how it's going to work. The 9950 X3D dual V cache is going to be a dual CCD design, so 8 cores on each CCD, and each die is going to have 32 megabytes of on-die cache, and then it's going to have the stacked 64 megabytes of 3D V cache on top of it. So that will be pretty wild. It will be the first CPU with dual 3D V cache, and it will be blazing fast. And you know what, guys? It really does need it, because the old 9950 X3D doesn't perform that much better, even on par with the 9800 X3D, and that's because it's only got the 3D V cache on a single CCD. There's been core parking issues, there's been a whole bunch of issues. So you know, if one core is enabled on the wrong CCD, you know, it drops frames, there's stuttering and all that sort of stuff. So that's the problem they're actually solving this time. If there's core parking or core jumping, and it goes from one CCD to the other, they're both going to have the same level of 3D V cache, so frames won't drop, there won't be stuttering, and it'll be a smooth transition. This is the way it sort of should have already been, saving money on the 3D chiplets anyway. You know, I have wanted this for quite some time, so I'm a little bit excited about it. And you know what? There'll be no way around this. The highest performing CPUs will need to have this sort of level of performance from here on out. So probably a good thing. It's going to probably set the standard. This couldn't have come at a better time. We recently did a CPU and GPU overclocking videos. In our CPU videos, one of our buddies from the Netherlands, big shout out to you, mate, asked if they should spend the extra money on a higher end CPU. I actually told him that, you know, I would save the money and buy the 9800 X3D and use that savings for a better GPU or something else, some more memory or whatever, for this exact reason. So AMD are trying to solve that problem. It's been a little bit of an albatross around their neck, and now they're getting rid of it. So I bet you there's going to be a whole bunch of us, me included, who are going to be looking at selling their high-end CPUs for an even newer one. Well, pretty exciting times ahead. Anyway, what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to a dual 3D V cache CPU variant of the X3D models? Let me know in the comments down below. Just dream of the builds that we can have. Now all we need is a higher end model Radeon card and everyone will be wrapped. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I've had a really good time making this one. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty excited. I hope you guys have had a good time watching it as well. Let me know your dream dual 3D V cache builds in the comments down below and we can get excited together. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.